Your home is more than just walls and windows. It's a place where all of your best memories live, where you foster laughter and adventure. It's your own small sanctuary to be a family and celebrate. At Screenmobile, we believe in making your home the place where your adventures can thrive, where you can invite the outdoors in and make family time together that's much more memorable. Screenmobile, we provide our customers with stress-free screen installation so that you can focus on what truly matters. From screen doors to window screens to porch enclosures, Screenmobile is here for you. Screenmobile. Call us today.
Yes, welcome elites, entrepreneurs, and empire builders. Jared here with another episode of Fran Opps Live. Man, I am genuinely excited about this one today. Screenmobile. I love bringing this brand on because we'll get to it for many reasons, but they're a part of another organization that I don't think we've had one of these brands on yet. So I'm excited to kind of introduce this one to you guys. And I've been having so many great conversations with many of you inside this group regarding potential franchise ownership. And usually around what, a lot of times we don't know what we're looking for. We want to be our own business owner. We want to build our own empire, but we don't know where to start. And I love being able to kind of generate conversations around brands like this for a number of reasons. Today, we have the pleasure of bringing on a guest named David Colella, and he has been with Screenmobile for a while. He's the director. He's been in franchising for a long time, 30 plus years of experience. He's the director of franchise development. In fact, a lot of his experience, it's pretty fascinating. He actually was a CEO and founded a whole other franchise brand that we'll talk about that story a little bit as we kind of get to know him a little bit too. But today we're talking about Screenmobile, which is America's only mobile screen repair company. And it goes way beyond just screens. We're going to unpack for you the different kinds of products and services that they kind of provide to. Right now, they're nearing, I believe, 100 franchise owners across 30 plus different states. And 99% of those owners, by the way, have renewed their franchise license. So I think that just shows, like, it communicates and it bodes well the name and the recognition, the status of this brand, of this company. And so great investment opportunity here. This is if you're looking for something that's a really low investment that has high average gross with a ton of customers. We'll talk about all those numbers later on. This is going to be a great one for you to consider. As I mentioned, one of my favorite parts is that they're a part of Authority Brands. Authority Brands has a lot of brands you've heard of. 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning, Benjamin Franklin Plumbing, the Cleaning Authority, the Junk Luggers, Home Watch Caregivers, and so many more. This is going to be one of my favorites to unpack with you. This brand specifically has been ranked in Entrepreneur 500, the Franchise Times Top 200, and Franchise Gators Top 100. So the awards just keep coming. This is going to be some really good, powerful stuff today. So grab your lunch, grab your coffee, buckle in tight, because we are ready to unpack Screenmobile with you guys. So without further ado, here's David Colella.
I absolutely love what I do. I have tons of time now for my family. I came from the corporate world where I didn't have time for my family, and with Screenmobile, my hours are flexible and time is not a problem anymore.
I love every day. It's something new, it's something fun, and there's a little bit of creativity in it. Most people look at a window and they think, okay, how am I gonna put a screen on it? And I'm looking at it and I have all these great ideas, and I just try to express it to the customer. Hey, we can do this, we can do that. So we have plenty of options for you. So I love the fact that I get to use my creativity to put a screen on a window.
We are a big family. Everybody knows everybody by their first name. We hang out outside of work. And that's a big part of our culture. Our culture is family-based. We're not all about the money. We're about the family and growing a healthy business.
David, welcome, my friend. Welcome to the greatest, I love saying this, the greatest Facebook group in the metaverse. You've made it. I'm glad you're here. Thank you for joining us.
Well, thank you for having me, Jared. Appreciate it.
Yeah, David, let's dive in. Tell us, I know I unpacked a little bit, but can you tell us a little bit about your story? And I want to talk about franchising because you've been in this space a long time.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thanks for having me again. And in regard to myself, I'm a corporate refugee. I left corporate America, probably going back now 25 years ago. It was I was doing extremely well in a corporate world, and wanted something different for myself, and was starting to have kids, and realizing that we were going to have more kids, and wanted the flexibility, and what came along with business ownership, and it worked out really well.
Yeah, I think that's so great. I mean, because a lot of people can relate to that right now. People watching, people inside this group, people that are going to see this on YouTube or wherever they're watching later too, can relate to. They're living that life right now. They are in the corporate space currently. They're in a job or a career that they're not loving. And so that's why they're watching, right? They want to potentially find the next opportunity, the next chapter of their life that's going to help them achieve their goals. And so today, let's talk about, Screenmobile and how that can help with it. So tell us a little bit about what the brand is, what it does. Unpack that for us if you could.
Sure. No, absolutely. In regard to the corporate refugees as well, I think one of the things that people struggle with is they get the comfort of having that income, right? They know that it's coming in on a regular basis, an annual basis. They know
there's security there, right?
It's hard to jump from that, right? But it's like when I was in it, I was on planes 3 weeks out of every month, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I was doing extremely well at a young age, and realized, my dad died when I was young, and I knew we were about to start having kids, and I wanted to be home to do the things that were important to me and my future family. And now I have 3 kids in college and 1 in high school. So I can really identify with people that are in corporate America. They want to leave, but they also are afraid to leave. So there's some anxiety there, and there's stress there, and I can, help people, understand. And entrepreneurship is not for everybody, right? It's a great life, and there's a lot that you could accomplish, and you could learn and grow and build in many different ways. But it pays off over time.
100%, as you and I can both attest to. It's you learn a lot about yourself for sure. And there's you'll go through several highs and several lows. But when it's all said and done, it absolutely pays off, in a number of different ways. And I love that you went to the family. Like, that is such an incredible aspect of this, like being able to prioritize providing for and being there for your family all at the same time. Because in a lot of W-2 positions, they're not given that ability to do both of those things.
Absolutely. And that's what I like about home services in general, is that there is a misnomer a bit that you own your own business and you can do whatever you want, right? But the reality of it is that owning a franchise, right? You're using the name, the systems, the process, the procedures, the controls, the infrastructure, the technology of the franchisor. But at the same time, Jared, you got to get up and work every day. Right. And you've got to get up and make that business successful. Now, it's going to be a lot more successful when partnering with an organization like Screenmobile and Authority Brands, where we have, 15 brands under our umbrella. So we've got 15, a lot of experience working with franchisees to make them successful. So it's it's a misnomer in that, sometimes people think they buy a franchise and they no longer have to work, right? But no, it's not the case. But what happens is you get to reap the benefits from all of the work that you put in. And as you build your organization, you build your team, then you get much more flexibility in your, once I built my business, if I have 4 kids, I think I mentioned, never missed a baseball game, a basketball game,
I love it.
Football game. It's just
what it's about. It's great.
It's important.
Yeah, 100%. You're so right. I talk to so many people, potentially curious about owning their own business and making this transition in life that, Love they're looking for when they come to franchising and they're looking for oftentimes some kind of like absentee, something that they can, they're or semi-absentee, and what does that look like for what's the right brand for that? And the thing is, like, there's so many franchises that communicate, and even Screenmobile, I'm sure, can communicate. Yes, you can become semi-absentee. There's so many things that goes into that conversation. The
Yep.
empire builder is going to understand.
Yep.
The first-time business owner, you need to understand that this is your investment. You're not going to start part-time to really try to get this up off the ground. Mike, good to see you in the chat. Anybody write your questions too live as you're wanting to know more about this brand too, and I'll ask them to David here with us. But what can you tell us, David? You mentioned home service brands. There's thousands of you, right?
Yeah.
Why
Absolutely.
is now but there's a reason for that. So why is now the right time to invest into a Screenmobile?
Great question. Well, first of all, we've been in business since 1980, which means that we're
around before franchising almost.
Say that again?
Been around almost before franchising.
Yeah, it's funny. So we've been in business for 45 years, which actually shows our longevity and our success being around for that many years. And we have about 150 locations across the United States,
Okay.
and which shows that we know what we're doing. We have done it for a number of years, done it successfully for a number of years, and then being under the now under the portfolio of Authority Brands just brings in that much more to help franchisees become successful because of all that we bring together as Authority Brands.
Yeah, so good. And hang on to the end, friends, because I have actually a short video about Authority Brands, who they are, and a little bit more about their brands that you're really going to enjoy too. That'll kind of unpack that for us some. But okay, so we mentioned at the front, Screenmobile does screens. Is that it? What else do they do?
Yeah, no, a good question. Well, it's important to point out that the founder, when he started the company, he actually had a handyman franchise. And when he had the handyman franchise, he recognized the need exclusively for screening services, and then Screenmobile was born. So he left the handyman franchise and started concentrating specifically on screening work. And it started out with doing window screens, door screens, and that's really where we grew up. That was our core business, back then. And now we do, not only window screens and door screens, but, porches and patios and lanais and, security screens and down south, lanais and 3-season rooms and pool cages. Most of the time down south, when you have pool, it's in an enclosed screened in pool cage, they call it. So we do a lot of those as well.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. A number of different things and verticals and with which to generate revenue. What kind of owners are you guys looking for? Are you looking for, this is a great opportunity for a single unit operator who's wanting to make that shift from corporate life. Are you looking for current business owners, people who have handyman experience? Are you looking for the ones that are wanting to go multi-unit and kind of work toward a large launch kind of thing? Or who are you looking for?
No, great question. So we're really looking for people that want to build a business. We're looking for people that want to build an asset for themselves, build an equity for themselves. We're not looking for people that just want to replace their 9-to-5 job. Now we've got two distinct business models. We've got our owner operator model and our executive model, and that's defined differently throughout different organizations, right? What is owner operator? What is executive model? You ask 10 different people, you get 10 different answers. But for us, it's the owner operator is actually the franchise owner that is out there actually doing the work, right? And that's how we were grown up from when we started back in 1980. It was the franchise owner that was actually out there doing the work. So today we focus on, and we want to bring on executive model owners. But a lot of people want to start out by doing the work themselves. So whereas in the past, in the history of Screenmobile, and if you get in to talk about, our item 19 and how that lays out, we have some owner operators that are in the system that came on as owner operators, and that was their expectation the entire time. But now if we bring on someone from an owner operator perspective, we want them to commit to grow into an executive model business. So we'll really take a look at the individual and see, okay, can they grow beyond an owner operator business? So we will consider the owner operator, but we're really focused on the executive model owner. And when you come on and you start as the executive model owner, you're starting out with a small org chart, but you're starting out with a junior screener and a senior screener, as we call them. Those are the technicians that are actually out there doing the work. So you're starting typically with a 3-person org chart.
And are those like full and part-time employees, or are those contract workers, or how does that work?
Great question. Our model is built upon a W-2 model. So you're bringing on full-time employees right out of the gate.
Yeah, that's great.
Now, as you grow and build your business, you get your first crew, and then you get your second crew, and then third crew. You're going to use 1099s, to supplement particular work, or if we've got to do some structural work, and as part of a job, we're not expected to do the structural side of it, so we may, outsource that piece of it, and you'll have relationships in your marketplace that can help you with those aspects of the job. But you'll use the 1099s to be able to help with pieces of the job, but our model is absolutely around the W-2 model.
Okay, great. So what does training look like then for the owner? Like, do they, especially if they're going to be hands-on, like I assume, like, do you teach them? Do they need to know and be prepared how to do some of these maintenance, replacing, install kind of jobs?
No, we're actually, the franchise owners that we're bringing on board, they typically have, some type of business experience. If they've got, they know how to, build a team, grow a team. They know how to create a culture. One of the things that is, absolutely outstanding with Screenmobile is the culture of the company is absolutely outstanding. And when I get candidates that are interested in the industry, interested in the model, and then I introduce them to people within the organization, they get to see that the culture is really, really special. And you just can't fake that, right? I mean, I tell people right out of the gate, when I introduce you people, when I introduce you to our vice president of operation, our vice president of marketing, our the president of the organization, all your support team, you'll see how the culture is outstanding, and that trickles down to our own employees, and then also to our franchisees and franchisees employees. It's a really cool place to be from that perspective. So we want someone that can carry that culture in, right? Carry that culture through to their franchise location.
Yeah, culture is so key. That's so great. What specifically, or not? What does tell us about the investment? What are we talking about? I've mentioned a couple times now, low investment, which it really is. But can you unpack that for us a little bit? The item 7, or what they're at least from a single unit perspective.
Yeah. So if you're starting out with a single unit, the initial investment is going to range between $138,000 and $200,000. Right. So that's what the initial investment is going to be. We have, if you're starting out on the owner operator side, it's going to be closer to that 138. Right. And then if you're starting out the executive model, it's going to be closer to the 200.
Because you'll need other staff. Yeah.
Because you're hiring a staff right out of the gate. And the average that we've been seeing for doing the executive model has been, more between the 150 and 175 type of thing, depending on what state you're in. You can go, higher into close to 200, but that's where your variance is, the owner operator versus the executive model.
And what does, for the most part, in brevity, what does that include? Like, do they need an office space where everyone's working out of? I've seen some vehicles and trucks. Like, what are they getting with that?
Yeah. So what you're doing is we have a very unique system with the way that we our franchisees operate. We've got a truck and trailer system where we actually we have what we call our ready to strike system. So part of the investment is our truck and trailer, and on that trailer is our proprietary system where we actually manufacture the screens on site at the customer locations. So when we go out to do the estimate, we go out and do the quote, we can actually get the job done at the time of the quote or the estimate, which is really unique because we're manufacturing the screens right on site at the customer location.
It can be done in real time. That's a game changer.
Yeah, that is, and that's how the company was started, to be a mobile company providing screening services. Like, we're not out there, fixing a rip screen, right? We may get that call that, I've got a rip screen, I need to get it replaced. But when we go in, we're looking at we're taking a holistic approach to the person's home, or what they're trying to accomplish. And a lot of times, if they've got a rip screen, guess what? The frame is rusted, it's damaged, it's not aesthetically pleasing, and they'll look to replace the entire screen. And people are surprised that we can do doors and retractable doors and things like that, right on site at the customer location. So we get the wow factor, the fact that we can get it done same day.
Yeah, I love that. I didn't know that about Screenmobile. So that's fascinating that they can be there, do the quote and everything, and in the job itself all in one trip there. That it's not like they got to wait for months, for product, whatever might for something to come in, whatever that might look like. So that's game changing in this space.
Yeah, no, it really is. It makes a difference to our customers.
Yeah, I bet. So you've mentioned you've had close to 100 franchisees. Is that right?
We have closer to 150 now. Yep.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
That's a lot different. Great.
Yeah, so we've been growing in leaps and bounds, and we've got, we were started in Southern California, so we have a significant amount of franchisees in Southern California, Arizona. We probably have close to a third of them in that area. Then the rest of them are scattered throughout the United States, where we see since Authority Brands has purchased the company, we have a large focus on states like say in California, where we have 40 franchisees. Well, right now today in Texas, we have 8 franchisees, right? So there's a huge focus on Texas, huge focus on Florida, North Carolina, South Carolina, really, south of the Mason-Dixon line is where you're going to really build a significant organization. But then again, we also have franchisees that are in northern markets as well, and doing extremely well as well. So it's a good opportunity for both sides of it. But building that bigger business, you're going to be in the southern warmer climates.
Okay, tell us about that if you could. Tell us, do you have any franchisees that you could tell us more about? Any success stories? Anyone that you can brag on? Anyone that's that has they've gone into this with their own dreams and goals of business ownership and what that means for their family and their finances and their future, and how has that been actualized because of this opportunity? Do you have any stories that come to mind?
Yeah, there's a couple of them, and because we've been around for so many years, right? We have so many people at different points in their business, and there are just so many different success stories. There's we have a bunch of people that have started out in that owner operator that have grown into a very, very significant business.
Okay.
Which is nice. We have a franchisee that started in Savannah, Georgia. He didn't know the difference between a tape measure and a toothbrush, and he started out owner operator, built the business into a significant business, and then saw one of our existing franchisees that was looking to retire in another state. So he sold his business successfully, and then moved into this new market by acquiring a franchisee, and then he just about doubled the business in a couple of year time frame, and is doing extremely well.
Incredible. How long has he been with Screenmobile?
He's now been with us for about 8 years.
Wow, incredible. I love it. I love the story. And just even notice, that's not where he started, right? This guy didn't start there day one as a business owner. You can grow into that. And it didn't take him 20, even with a few years, 8 years in, he's built something pretty substantial.
Absolutely.
As you mentioned, an asset, equity for him and his family, his future. That's what it's about. So
yeah,
and that really is what it comes down to, right? At the end of the day, it comes down to the finances. I love the logo. I love I love that it's part of authority. I love everything I'm hearing about what they provide, what the business does. It's simple, it's effective, it makes sense, it's unique. At the end of the day, it comes down to finances. So can you share with us a little bit about the item 19, or what kind of what that kind of looks like?
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the things to understand is that, with Screenmobile, there are no national competitors in this space, right?
Yeah.
So we can very effectively come to a market and build that top of mind awareness very effectively in a new market, because we're not going in and compete. If you look at a lot of the other wonderful brands underneath the Authority Brands umbrella, there's 20 different painting companies, 20 different
Sure.
20
Right.
different any home services, right? But in
Yeah.
screening services, there's not. And because we
Right.
have such unique branding and we have effective marketing, we can build that top of mind awareness very effectively in the marketplace. And because there's not as many competitors, what happens is that our number one competitor is the local handyman. But
Right.
he's not manufacturing screens on site at the customer location. He doesn't have the partnerships that we have with some of the bigger products that we offer, like in Florida, hurricane screens we do a lot of, and things like that. Those types of things we don't necessarily build on site at the customer location, but we do have the ability to cut them down and make the final touches to for the job. So it's a business that your cost of customer acquisition isn't nearly as much as it is in some other industries in the home services.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry, you asked the question about our finances. We've got so overall we've got our average revenue across all of our franchise locations is about $438,000 is our average revenue. Our top 25% average over $1 million a year. And obviously those are the executive model owners. So when we talk about meeting franchise owners, there's a significant amount of owners that people that are looking to get into our business that can speak to executive model owners. And a lot of them did start out that way. They started out with a team, right? Started out with a team of people right out of the gate. And you can get to, to break even, very effectively following our model, following our system. And because we start the marketing and advertising right out of the gate when you're going through your startup phase. So when your business opens up on day one, the idea is that the phone is already ringing, that we already have projects that are in the queue waiting to happen.
Yeah. That's so great. Do you know on average, like how many clients or how many customers the average franchisee will service, and like what the price points on jobs are about?
Yeah, so we have in our item. So I talked about the average revenue across the entire system. Then the top 25% averaging over $1 million, and our single one location unit did over $3 million last year. And we're talking about incredible 2023 numbers right now, right? The 2024 numbers aren't going to be out for another month, but I can confidently tell you that they're going to be even higher. So that's that's great. And our franchisees are very willing to get on the phone, have people come in and do visits, which is again about the culture that we've built, so that they're more than willing to talk to people that are interested in getting involved in the business. In regard to the price per job, our average across all of our franchise locations is about $1,200 per job, and we have that in our item 19 as well. So we've got obviously our revenue in our item 19, which talks about the quartiles that I just mentioned. Then we also have the price per job broken out by quartile as well, and so that's so the average is about $1,200, or higher than a little bit higher than that in our item 19. And then we also have broken down the number of customers that a franchisee has built over the course of the last year. So a prospective buyer could easily build a P&L based on those numbers. And what's incredibly unique about our item 19 is that we iron out all of the operating expenses that the average was to be able to operate a business. And that's 70%. And that's in our item 19. And that's not, Jared, I'm sure you've seen it where you have, where an organization will have their P&L in their item 19, but it's based off one corporate location or a couple of locations. Ours is based on an average of all of our locations. And in that operating expenses is everything, right? It's your cost of goods sold. It's your SG&A. It's what you're paying for advertising and marketing and your employees. So that's 70%. So future franchisees can quickly do the math. 100 minus 70 gives you.
That's great. 30. I didn't know you were asking. You put him on the spot. I didn't know you were asking me a math question there. Yeah. So my apologies. Did I get it right, everybody? Is that right? 30? Is that what we did? Yeah. Great. No, that's great. And for those of you that are listening to this going, we've talked many times on these Fran Opps Live about the item 19, about an FDD. If you are hearing this and you're still confused on what that language is, what that means, send me a message. We'll explain it to you. But the short thing for you to understand today, if you're watching this, is that they can't lie on those numbers. Those are hard and fast numbers. They're not projections. Those are hard and fast real numbers of what is currently happening with franchisees, right? And so the average across all 150, these are the numbers, like nearing 400 on average, nearly 400 customers per franchisee. And what's unique about that is that I haven't seen another franchise put that in their FDD. I really haven't. I'm sure they're out there, but I have not seen it. I haven't seen another company put that number in there, as well as, and not everyone puts in what the average ticket is or what the average job is too. So like you're getting real transparency from Authority Brands. You're getting real transparency from Screenmobile. And that is really something to key in on as you continue to look at franchise opportunities, business opportunities. You want a company that's going to be honest and transparent and open about, here's the numbers. We got nothing to hide because these are great. Here they are, Yeah. That's good news. So, David, I can't appreciate you enough truly for your time today and for your investment into this group. Friends, if you're watching this right now and you're interested in this, you want to know if your territory is available, you want to see if this might be a good fit for you, what I want you to do right now is write in the chat this phrase, screen time. Just type out screen time in the chat, put it right now down below, or if you're watching this later, put it down in the comments right now, and we'll reach out. We'll get a conversation going with you, see if this might be the right fit for you, see if you might be the right fit for Screenmobile. We'll talk about territories, and we'll look at all those things together, and we'll even get you connected to David. We could do that with him and his team, potentially later today, even based on how fast you want to go or slow you want to go. It's up to you. So, but type screen time in the chat. We'll get the conversations going. Until then, David, I can't appreciate you enough. Again, truly, thank you for your time and your investment into this group. I appreciate it.
Good. Thank you for having me, Jared. It's been fun.
Yeah, of course, man. Well, take care, my friend. Stay warm.
Yeah, thank you. Have a good day.
Friends, I want to remind you next week is going to be really unique. We, rather than interviewing another brand and putting them out here, we're going to be doing our first ever State of the Fran Opps Address. State of the Fran Opps Address. That's next week. We have 3, not 1, not 2, but 3 major announcements to reveal about about Fran Opps, about our company, and I'll leave it at that. So I'm excited to unpack those things. Things are going to be game changing, not just for us, but for you as well. So be here this time next week. And as promised, I wanted to show you a little bit about who Authority Brands is and this kind of corporate structure that you would be stepping into as a franchisee with a company like Screenmobile. So check this out.
One person can start a business and one person can strengthen the whole community. But imagine what we can do together. Authority Brands is doing it. Changing the field of home services by building a family of brands that works towards excellence together. As the premier home services franchisor in North America, we believe in amplifying the power of the business owner to bring outstanding service to homeowners coast to coast. With robust marketing teams, custom technology development, and operational support from a corporate staff of experts, our franchise owners are set up to thrive. Our tried and true approach backed by more than 240 years of combined franchising expertise from our leaders, propels brands to the top of their fields, and the Authority Brands family is always growing. As homeowners continue demanding premium services, we look to acquire new, innovative brands and strengthen them with Authority Brands' best-in-class business practices. From the property line to the roof line, we grow successful franchise brands. Every day we work to empower business owners, create jobs that enrich the community, and connect customers with local businesses they can trust. Together we can. Together, we are Authority Brands.